Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading for January 5th to the 11th. And this is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I don't know why I said it that way. But we are going to jump right in. Remember, the blue asterisk, always the best aspects of the week. And you just came out of an amazing full moon in Cancer. I dropped these forecasts a little bit before the actual week begins. So you're probably moving into it too. It's amazing. It's conjuncting Jupiter. It's such a great full moon. You're going to see what you needed to see. You might be closing some doors. Some of y'all may have a really good cry, like one of those good ones. Yeah. It is in your third house. So there could be something here with family. There could be something that has communication. But either way, I talk about your monthly forecast. But the big thing here is you're saying bye-bye to 2025. You already did. And now you're ready for some serious growth because you're in Capricorn season. You got a job to do, which is locking in your legacy with structure and discipline and ownership. And there's a high level of just being real with yourself. Capricorn is Saturn ruled. It's grounded in what's real. It's not dreamer energy. There's no clicking heels. If you're in Kansas, you're in Kansas, right? Capricorn is doer energy. It's all about the gains and the outcome and success and a really strong finish. And you're going to be rolling up your sleeves because you'll have Mercury, Venus, the Sun, and an exalted Mars traveling together, conjuncting, merging their energies this entire week. So what does that mean? It means that you are going to be proactive. You will be practical, pragmatic, professional, prioritizing all the words. You're going to be walking the walk, talking the talk. That is just Capricorn energy. And the emphasis for you, Capricorn rules your ninth house. So a lot of y'all are going back to school. A lot of y'all are possibly going to be taking courses, online courses. A lot of y'all may be graduating, ending school. A lot of y'all are going to be teaching, becoming teachers and educators. The ninth house is also higher mind. It's not only higher education, but just spirituality. It's your belief system. You're going to have huge emphasis there. Your worldview, your philosophies, and a lot of y'all are going to be traveling. That's exciting. I'm so jealous. Go to the Maldives. Go do something really fun. This is your ninth house. And that said, it's also publishing. It's also broadcasting. Y'all write a book. It's a perfect time to write a book for y'all. A memoir. There's just so much happening here. And the last thing is Capricorn is very structured. It's business. It's like, let's talk business and the law and things like that. Anyway, that is the ninth house. The ninth house is the law. It's legal matters, right? So there could be something that you're signing. There could be something you're officiating. There's something official here for you that's going to broaden your horizons and open doors for you. And since Capricorn is all about achievements, there is likely going to be a point this week where you take a step back and you say, wow, I did that. I got that promotion. I passed the bar. I got booked on Naked and Afraid, whatever it is, whatever your long-term goals are, right? That is that Capricorn energy. And you are going to be really immersed in it this week with the ultra rare triple Kazemi with the Sun, your ruler Venus, and Mars starting Tuesday, January 6th. I talk about these Kazemis, all these conjunctions in your January forecast. So I'm not going to repeat the same information here. Just know on Tuesday, the Sun will conjunct your ruler Venus at 16 degrees. And this is amazing. This is you're going to love it. And you're going to feel this. All right. It happens once a year. But you will have it again at the end of this year, FYI. All right. And it's so strange to say that in it feels so far away, the second Venus Cazimi. But remember, that's because Venus is going to be retrograde. But either way, this is a reborn Venus, a refresh. She's got all her powers at maximum. She is bursting with charm and magnetism. Therefore, you will too. You're going to be the philosopher, like the ancient philosopher, imparting your wisdom. That is the ninth house. And you're going to be attracting everything or anyone for that matter that you desire, but in a very structured way. All right. Regarding relationships and even creative projects, the way that you do business. Venus, as you know, is your values, but also money. Venus is finding the beauty in all things. And so, yes, it is a great time to date. Go on a date, go network, it's a great time to negotiate, to entertain, right? Invite people over for wine and Jenga, if that's still a thing. The most important takeaway, though, is that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, Chronos, right? Father time. And Venus is your values. So with this reborn Venus, make it clear what is worth your time and is it being honored? Okay? Now, the other thing, by the way, this same day, the moon will be in Virgo and will trine Juno. That's really exciting for y'all. A lot of y'all having babies or getting married or wanting to. Anyway, we'll talk about it more in your second spread. Wednesday, January 7th, you got Venus conjunct Mars, 18 degrees. Remember, Venus, Mars, the Sun, they're still all at the same degree, moving from 17, spilling over into 18. So this conjunction will feel like a cannon to the Cazimis. And Venus conjunct Mars, this is just highly intimate and intense and just bananas, especially with your desires and your passions. And I mean, you got romantic and sensual and creative sparks all rolled in one. It's off the Richter scale, right? It's Venus and Mars. Venus is reborn, Mars is exalted. So you're gonna feel momentum on your journey, okay? With your long-term goals. And remember, this is still that Capricorn energy in your ninth house. So there's something here that is just got to be very active for you. This is just, again, your beliefs, but you're just going to be craving knowledge and wisdom. Use this. At the very least, be social. Network. It's Venus, right? It's Venus, your ruler, who is so social, but it's also Mars. So take that inspired action. Do think, go apply for that job at Pizza Hut, wherever you want, NASA, it doesn't matter. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So we didn't have this last year. You want to use it. Now, speaking of which, we also, again, you're going to have the moon in Virgo, right? So you're going to actually really love this because you've got the sun in Capricorn. You complete that Earth picture. This day, the moon will conjunct the South Node in Virgo. And it can be a little, we got to let some things go. And it's karmic and it's old patterns that may resurface. But this will trine the triple Cazimi of Mars, the Sun, and Venus in Capricorn. We'll talk about it in the second spread. Now, Thursday, January 8th. Now you got the Mercury sextile the North Node in Pisces and trine the South Node in Virgo. So this is absolutely amazing. You've got, Mercury in Capricorn is just, it's a strategic mind, right? It's your words that carry weight and and it's words that stick. And this matters because it's with the North Node in Pisces in your 11th house of your future hopes and wishes and long-term goals and dreams and aspirations. So you could have a fated conversation or just ideas or even an elevator pitch that's destined. This is a big deal. You could make a life-changing decision around this time. It's all about the mind. It's all about communication. You could even, for you, yes, there could be something on your travels. It could be a time where you think about planning a trip. You could hear good news. You could receive great messages. Just know there is something truly destined for you around this time. And actually, for you, the moon in Virgo will trine Uranus in your sign. So there could be something unexpected. Anyway, actually, cross watchers, if you watch for your rising or your moon, or for your boyfriend, Johnny, Capricorn, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini will feel Mercury sextile North Node the most and trine the South Node. If you have any planets 9 to 11 degrees in any of those signs in your natal chart, you're really going to feel this. And a lot of it's just all this like behind the scenes activity. Now, Friday, January 9th, you've got the Sun conjunct Mars, 19 degrees. Here's the thing. We had this, the last time was November 18th, 2023 in Scorpio. So you can think about what happened for you when it came to relationships and partnerships and love or business around that time. But the bigger thing is, think of Mars and his journey since then, right? For 2 years, he's been having aspect after aspect, conjunction, square opposition. He's had long retrogrades and signs that he doesn't even like. He's got nothing in the tank until now. He's getting 1,000% of his power back. He's bathing in that sunlight, right? This is an exalted Mars being reborn. This is when you feel that rush of adrenaline. And this sets you up for another 2-year cycle, okay? So, in your 9th house, where he does his best, remember Mars is exalted in Capricorn, he's in warrior mode. So you will feel driven and valiant and plucky, heroic, especially toward your long-term goals and your belief system and education and travel and publishing. This is the day that Sun and Mars perfect. So strong. But remember, they're going to conjunct all the way up to January 8th. Every day. Like, this is enormously powerful. Mars's drive and physicality and libido and ambition is really charged up. So it can also be competitive and impatient and aggressive. So, sure, yeah, you can kick down the water cooler in your office. If that's on your list of achievements, don't forget that Capricorn rules your reputation. So channel this energy constructively. Go make things happen. It's very rare that you get this. Start a new project. Start a band. Start a cover band. Hootie and the Blowfish. It doesn't matter. Venus, your ruler, is going to soften the edges here, but it's still a lot of energy to exert. Use it, okay? That reality that you're creating, go create. This is your time. And if you are a cross watcher, it will be the earth signs. It will be you and Virgo and Capricorn and Anthony and water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that will feel the Venus Cazimi, the Mars Cazimi, Venus conjunct Mars the most. And if you have any planets 16 to 20 degrees, and any of those signs, well, those planets will be aspected, so you will feel it the most. Now, over the weekend, you're going to have the Sun, Venus, Mars opposite Jupiter, 20 degrees. You're really going to feel this strongly on Saturday, okay, the 10th. And it is 3 versus 1. And it is on that Cancer, Capricorn axis, which is power versus protection. It's duty versus care. And it's really all about how you handle this opposition. You want to move toward the energy of Jupiter, which is expansion and protection, comfort and opportunity. Remember, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, really strong place, but likewise, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So if there's anything that you really feel, it really will be that Mars Jupiter opposition. And what it is, you could just feel extra nurturing or even sensitive or defensive or even reckless. Again, it's just how you handle these energies. And it is on your third, ninth axis. So it's going to be travel, education, learning things, writing projects, communication. So those would be like the biggest areas of emphasis, but it's still, yes, we'll bring in like work and home, like career and family, things like that. Okay. But with these oppositions, your courage really just pays off here. And then even with Venus as part of this opposition, I mean, Jupiter, it could be like a literal payoff, right? Like, as in, this is all about generous outcomes with money and relationships. It actually brings those feel good moments when you have the two benefics. Just avoid overspending. Okay, that would be the lower expression of Jupiter. And with the sun, it's all about like validation and recognition. Just avoid overconfidence, right? You do have the benefit of Mercury in Capricorn, which brings logical, sensible thinking. And so this opposition really is all about tempering expectations, not expanding conflict, and also being very diplomatic because the moon will be in Libra all weekend, which means you've got Venus, Mars, Mercury, the sun, and Capricorn. You have Jupiter in Cancer. You've got the moon in Libra. And so the moon in Libra is going to trigger this opposition. And so you have a T square. But either in Chiron and Aries, you have a grand cross. And Chiron and Aries is at 22. So a little out of orb, but just a few degrees. Anyway, we'll talk about it in the second spread, where we do lunations and asteroids and planetoids. Just know it might be an emotional weekend with the moon and Chiron and Cancer energy, right? You're definitely gonna have to make a decision about something. It might have to do with work and travel and your belief system. Anyway, let's get started. Let's see what's going on for you for January 5th to the 11th for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Taurus, let's see. All right. Taurus, how are you doing? It's late. I do a traditional called cross spread, offers the best overview, especially for a weekly reading. And if we need a pull clarifiers, you know, that we will. Taurus, you know, y'all are amazing. I'm very excited for you this week. There is a lot happening. A lot of y'all are going on business trips. Yeah. And a lot of y'all are going on business trips to get a client to sign a contract. But there is, I hope that you're working on that book. Remember, 2-year story here. Okay. Let's, yeah. Let's talk. You ready to talk about this? You're gonna have to, you're gonna be fine, but we got to talk about something. let's see. You got the Hierophant. Yeah. This is great. This is everything that I just said. When you've got that stellium, conjunctions, Cazibis in your ninth house, or you got the Hierophant. So this is really interesting because the Hierophant is you. This is your card. And the Hierophant, he imparts wisdom. He is a spiritual leader, right? He connects the divine and our physical world, and people pay attention to what he has to say. And that is all this energy in Capricorn in your ninth house. Remember, it's spirituality. I said you are going to be that ancient philosopher going around imparting wisdom. People are going to listen to you. It doesn't matter if it's the workplace or a pizza party. It doesn't matter. You're going to feel that energy, that surge of energy. So I want you to hold on to that. And yes, he is kind of like a bridge maker himself, building that bridge. But also, this is all about, look, he's got the keys, right? And so there is this sense of ownership here and structure. He loves structure. And so I really love that you pulled your own card because you've got the wheels, right? So hold on to that because you also have the Five of Swords. And you also have that Seven of Wands. So there is, I mean, you have the Nine of Cups in your challenge area. So there is something here where it's like, there may be something where it can be, remember what I said, Mars can be aggressive. It can be overconfidence. It can be a lot of that, especially with the sun and et cetera, et cetera. There could be something where people don't see eye to eye with you and you don't like that, right? So just be mindful here with that Five of Swords. This card ultimately is all about self-respect, self-dignity. You have a reborn Venus, your ruler in the ninth, okay? And so use that energy. It's magnetic. This, you can see he's pushing people away. And he could ultimately lose as much as they did based on his actions. And remember, your actions have consequences. And I say that because honestly, like that's Capricorn energy anyway, right? Saturn ruled. Remember, Saturn is karma. You have Virgo with the South Node, karmic aspects that are happening. So anyway, just keep that in mind. There may be some energy that you have to work with this week. Swords are the mental suit. So things that you're thinking about, but things that you're seeing. Okay. Nine of Cups in your challenge area. This is someone who is a little like proud, like too proud, you know, like that kind of energy. In fact, when you see the Nine of Cups in your challenge area, there is a little bit of, he would be considered a little bit smug and also, well, even with him, but you see him like crossing off his heart and it's just like kind of like show off energy. Now, I'm not saying it's you. I'm describing the card in the challenge area. And so there is something here where it's just not seeing eye to eye because I don't feel that that's you. I feel that that's the other party where you may be like, and both the sun and Mars are ego, right? And there is a Kazemi and it's powerful and it's potent and it only happens twice a year. So, or every 2 years. So I would just be very mindful of that. There may be something here that you really want that you're not getting and vice versa. That's Seven of Wands in your crown. Maybe you say something or do something that you could remember. what I said about feeling heroic, valiant. Well, that would be the Seven of Wands. And that would be like, it is valor, right? But at the same time, it's still this conflict. Spirited, but it's conflict, right? So another just nod to pushing people away, right? Or being defensive. What did I say? Especially with those oppositions, right? So I would just really consider that. Um, there's just a lot happening here. And it's all coming after the Hierophant. And so there is something to be said about he is confident. Yeah, the Hierophant. People listen to him. Like I said, he is a leader, like I said, and he's your card. So there's so much to be said about compromise and seeing eye to eye and listening to others as well. Because Capricorn energy really is, sure, it is disciplined, but it is strict too. And it's no nonsense. And so there can be a little too much of that, where all you want to do is just love and bask in all your glory. And this is really great with the Nine of Pentacles and the root of your spread. And there could be something that is here that's kind of blocking that path. And so that's where there could be a little bit of contention, maybe, with all of that. And the Nine of Pentacles, you do see the symbol of Venus all over her gown, right? So that's, again, your ruler. This card actually is attributed to Venus and Virgo. Remember, you're going to have the moon in Virgo pretty much the week until the moon moves into Libra. And the moon in Virgo for you, that rules your fifth house of love and joy and pleasure and creative projects, even like entrepreneurship. But it really is like you have a lot of home and family energy. So I would just keep that in mind. Yeah. This is wonderful. Okay. It just feels like there's something in the way and it's got to be handled the right way. And then you have the Knight of Wands in your future. So you work with those energies, you're going to be great. But if you don't, that Knight of Wands is just kind of like, it's almost like he's just on that horse at, full speed, just going in circles. So you want to make sure that there's some direction here and compromise, like I said. That's your ruler, Venus, right? That's what she's all about. And so she is social networks, but in the way that we want people to gather around us like they are. There's two monks at his feet. Let's see what's going on with your staff over here, Taurus. But that's the other thing. This is the Knight of Wands. That's spirited, right? He's on a mission. He's going after his passions. Yeah. And you can do. He's out to transform his life. Yeah. But he is, with this can be it's kind of like, how do I say this? It's like, I'm doing all by myself. And if you like this reading, it'd be great if you subscribe, leave comments, all that fun stuff. Hype the video. I'm going to pull some clarifiers for you, Taurus. Okay? You don't love you. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Two things here. Slow down. Okay? Slow down. That's a lot of charged up energy, but have your moment. Okay? And just go at a comfortable pace. Secondly, I would say that, yeah, if you can work with these energies, things can go your direction, everything can start aligning the way that you want things to align for you. There is a lot of movement here, but there's a velocity when you think about what's happening this week as well with the aspects. Now, you have the Knight of Swords. And so you got these two knights. Knights are all, on a mission. They all serve a purpose. They all got something to do. And they can, these two knights, ooh, they're fast. They're fast. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Slow down a little bit. There's a lot of movement here. That Knight of Swords can be a little impulsive and he can be a little aggressive. And so let's keep that in mind. He has no filter. He also doesn't care what people think. He's just going to do him, which can be great, but you got to look at your entire spread. And so that's so much energy just right there. Used the right way, then yes, this is just being very bold, and going after everything that you deserve. And remember what I said about talking the talk and walking the walk. But you have to just be very mindful here. Swords, sure, they are the mental suit, and communication, but ultimately that's truth. Yeah. Being true to yourself. Now you have that Two of Cups. That's great. And so there's this element of relationships and partnerships. When you have the moon in Libra over the weekend, that is going to be brought to the table. Yeah. And this is really great because it's something that you're seeking. Maybe like the forming of a relationship, a new partnership, a new, with all this Capricorn energy, maybe a new business partner, or maybe a new company that you want to work at, whatever it is. That's kind of like the goal. That's what I want. That's what I'm going for. But let's work on that. Remember what I said about swords, right? And now you have the Two of Swords in your final outcome. Two of Swords is attributed to Moon in Libra. Again, you're going to have the Moon in Libra over the weekend. A T-square involved in a T-square with every other planet, it seems. That at least 5, right? So it seems like the weekend might be a thing. And the Moon in Libra is, the Two of Swords. There's just something here where if we don't work on this, it just feels like that it was like, what was the point of that? Because you're back to just holding something in rather than imparting your wisdom. And this is leaving you a little bit powerless. She's blindfolded. She's got these two swords like that. Does that remind you of anything here? Yes. Crossing off her heart. He's crossing off his heart. So there's just that. And you're Taurus. You're ruled by Venus. You're all about love. And so this is just saying, let's connect with our intuition. Let's connect with our emotions. Let's be able to face the truth of what we have to face. And even remember this week, there may be some things that you have to say. Be mindful on how it's delivered, right? And, with that Two of Swords as well, it just feels like there could be something you're holding in, something you're holding close to your chest. Those swords are going to get heavy, right? So you're going to want to, it just feels like there's some resolve here. Let's look at, that Five of Swords, shall we? That's a lot of swords too. Yeah, okay. You got the High Priestess. That's great. So again, trust, intuition. You even see her, and her back is turned to the sea and the moon, which is emotions, intuition. You want to connect with Anne, the high priestess. She's saying, I got you. Go deep, connect. You're going to be good. Yeah. I want to see the 2 of swords. And then you got, okay, yeah, the 4 of swords, or 4 of wands, or 4 of cups. Ah, did I mention that it's late? Okay, so I'm going to show you something here. This may be a week where you want to, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to work with your emotions. But when I say this is a week where it may be you pushing people away, just be aware, just mindful of that. Yeah. Just be mindful, because now you've got all 3 people that are crossing off their hearts. Okay? All of them. And you see him as well. And the 4 of cups is it's associated with like, it's like meh. Yeah, he's bored. He's associated with like apathy. He didn't get what he wanted. It's emotional discontent. So you're really going to have to face something here, whether you like it or not. This is saying, okay, you have to be open to what you might think that you're going to hear, or actions that may be happening. But also remember what I said, inaction have consequences as well. So this is stuck energy, because they're not only crossing off their hearts, they're like immovable. They're not budging. And so there really is something to be said about compromise and listening. And okay, we'll do one more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go. And then you got the 6 of wands. So, no, yeah, that's success, and that's victory, and that's people cheering you on. It's like you have an audience here. Mhm. That's public recognition. There's that Capricorn energy, but that's great. It just feels like you might want to really connect with him. Okay. And like I said, it is going to be a big week. It's a very powerful week. You have a lot happening this week. So very interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, you're going to be fine. You're going to be good. Just go within and listen, right? And listen, because it does feel like keeping people at arm's length, but deciding to do so, right? Choosing it. But you want to open yourself up, and look at that. And then you get all this praise, and and you rise above. Anyway, next week, Taurus. Well, there's a lot more next week. We have that new moon. We have even like the 3 days with 15 aspects. And if you like this reading, it'd be great if you subscribe, leave comments, all of that. And then, second spread, tier 3 members, really good and legendary members. We're going to look at a couple things, okay? Remember, you are going to have the moon conjunct this out node. You are going to have the moon trine Juno. You're going to have a grand cross over the weekend, and the moon in Virgo, relationships, love, creative projects, creative partners, family, all of that. Thanks so much, Taurus. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.